Welcome back to The Grind. In this video, we're going to talk about the Summer of Pain Symbioid boss. Now, this boss has armor break immunity as well as power overflow, true focus, power buildup, special lock 2, and limber. So you will have a limited amount of parries in the fight, and you cannot go higher than a special 2. But if you have willpower, as you'll see, you'll have a constant power lock on you if you stay at 2 bars of power, so that is some free healing. Now, the problem with this symbiote is every time he throws a special attack, it's going to be unblockable if he has 10 prowess or more, which he builds as he's over 2 bars of power. But also, every time he throws a special attack, he has an unstoppable buff, which lasts quite a long time, and he's gaining power as well. So by the time the unstoppable buff ends, he's pretty much going to throw another special attack. But there are ways around this. Now, if you do not need to use any specific champions to meet your objectives for, say, a non-Thronebreaker player, you can use any champion that counters unstoppable buffs or just buffs in general. So Captain America Infinity War is nice for this because he can counter unstoppable buffs. So if he throws a special, we can just go in there and cancel that unstoppable buff. And another nice thing is Captain America has pretty high block proficiency, so if you want to discourage him from using special attacks, you can do that by just, holding block and then baiting out a heavy attack. And he's not going to take too much damage because he has high block proficiency, plus you're healing from that continuous power lock that you have if you do not throw a special attack. And we're going pretty quick through this fight with Captain America Infinity War, and we're just kind of messing around here. And you can throw special attacks if you want to intermittently. If your health is nice and you don't need the willpower healing from the power lock, you can go ahead and throw off special attacks. And Dr. Doom is a fantastic option. Any nullify or stagger champion will work nicely as well. Dr. Doom is also metal, so he does work for one of the objectives, and you can kind of just get the opponent in the corner and do like a heavy lock kind of rotation where you throw a couple heavies to get off the staggers, and then you bait out a special attack and counter in right away. And with all the staggers, you are also controlling the power gain buffs, so you don't have to worry about his power going too high. You can get off 1 or 2 heavies in the corner, bait out a special attack, and then repeat. And this can make for a very easy fight. Now, if you don't have any way to counter these unstoppable buffs, you want to discourage the opponent from using a special attack. And you do that by finishing with a 4-hit combo and ending with that light attack so that you don't end your full combo, and then holding block. Now, sometimes they will throw specials and you will have to sort of dance around until the unstoppable buff ends, but for the most part, this is going to allow you to not worry about the unstoppable buff because they won't be throwing special attacks very often. However, you will be potentially taking a lot of block damage, and you'll have to be prepared to evade some heavy attacks because he might throw it right away, or he might throw it after a few hits, or he might not throw it at all and just do a full 5-hit combo into your block. But because of the constant healing, if you have willpower from the special 2 lock, if you're not throwing your special attacks, you can get a lot of healing and still survive throughout the fight. And if you don't get it as a solo, 1 revive should be able to get you there. Mojo is another fantastic option because he meets the 2 objectives, being a XL villain as well as a metal champion. And I'll show you an easy way to filter out what champions you have that meet the objectives. Now, with Mojo, if you have your anti-life field active, the unstoppable buffs are going to be very short, which means you can counter after the heavy attack and not worry about the unstoppable buffs. But you are going to have to pay close attention to your missions because you can see we had a mission active, so we did not have the anti-life field. That means the unstoppable buff is very long. And if you fail a mission, you're going to have to start building up your charges all over again. And you can see we messed up and lost a lot of health, but we're going to start gaining a lot of that health back. You can see we countered that special attack because the unstoppable buff was very brief. And now, once you have your missions completed and your anti-life field active, every buff that's triggered is going to heal you, and the lower health you have, the more healing you're going to get. So we're going to start to build up health pretty quickly here, and we're just baiting out special attacks because while we have that anti-life field active, the buffs are going to be very short, which means you don't have to worry about waiting for it to end. And we're baiting out tons of special attacks throughout the entire fight, but you are going to want to pay close attention to whether your anti-life shield is active or not, as well as when that buff triggers, that it is a short, quick buff, because now he has the long unstoppable, and if you just counter in, you're going to get wrecked. We got really lucky with that block there not being broken, but again, bait a special attack and counter in. Now, I haven't actually done my solo with Mojo yet because I get them down to 30-40% and I end up messing up. But I am going to get it done eventually. Now, if you are a Thronebreaker and you want to complete all the objectives, but maybe you don't have the right champion that somebody else has used, you can go to filters when you're going to the in-game menu, and you can just select whatever tag it is you're looking for. And there are actually tons of metal options, and Dr. Doom is one of the most, probably one of the better ones to use if you are looking for that. But there are tons of very good metal champions, some of them that even counter unstoppable. So you should be able to get this done if you have, one of these more ideal options with the strategies that we talked about. Now, unfortunately, with the in-game filter system, you can only select 2 at a time. So if you're going to select Villain and XL, that you can't really add any other ones. But as we discussed, Mojo meets both of those criteria. Unfortunately, if you don't have Mojo, you kind of have to use other options. And a lot of these other Villain XL champions are not metal. But some other good ones, Mortal Abomination would be good because you can put weaknesses so that you don't take as much block damage. I've seen Red Hulk used. Dormammu has power control, so that would be a good option as well. And then the last tag that you'll have to worry about is the shield tag. So the shield champions unfortunately don't meet any of the other tags, but there are some good champions here, like Magic or Dr. Voodoo have really good power control. Quake, you can't really use because of the true, true whatever it is, the counter evade. I use Black Widow, as you saw in the video. Nick Fury would work as well, except he doesn't have that much damage without the bleed damage. And then Hawkeye has power control as well. But ideally, Magic or Dr. Voodoo with the good power control, or you can just use the strategy I showed with Black Widow, Deadly Origin. So you can use these filters to help you decide which ones you have that you want to use for these objectives. So I do hope this video is helpful. Good luck, and I hope to see you in the next video.